Right, guys, we're coming at you with one of our new products for the XMacro today, and it is the Plus2 for the XMacro 17 round mag. So that's giving you 19 plus 1 in your XMacro. Let's take a look at it real quick. Here we are. Let's get up nice and close. We've got a few features. It's kind of a stripe, call it a strip stripe. Pretty common if you want to be able to strip your magazine out if it's caught or jammed or just not coming out fast enough. A couple other things. It is aluminum. It is anodized type 3 hard coat. And yeah, there is mag ID on the bottom. If you want to color fill some dots to ID your mags. And that's what we're looking at today. We're going to go over a little install and features. Boom. You might also notice I have a prototype on here of the ProLedge rail, or ProLedge no light is what I might call it. Boom. You're going to see some other kind of tidbits, prototypes here if you just keep watching. And while we're looking at this, let's go ahead and talk about some of its features, some of the things that it won't do, like perhaps you're all going to ask, will it work in a magwell? Make a magwell for the XMacro. I'm sure many others are coming out with them. No, it will not work in any magwell, period. Not even the Icarus one that has a magwell built in. It will not work. The thing with magwells is they changed the mating surface right here. Let's go ahead and show you. They changed the mating surface that the magazine sits on. So if you want your magazine to be flush fitting like this, maybe it extends the grip, maybe you have big hands, or maybe you just like that nice clean look, then you get the one that does not work with the magwell. If you want one that works with the magwell, you get that one. If you want one that works with the magwell, you get the one that works with the magwell, but your drawback is if you don't use a magwell, you don't get that clean finished look. Because it has to be angled for the magwell, it can't have the back surface because of the magwell. And so this install and look is for the flush fitting. If you have a magwell, don't take it off. Just wait, because it's coming very, very soon. It's nearly in production, and we'll have these available for those that want to run a magwell. So Plus2, we have a Plus4 in a magwell version. Still trying to figure out if I can get that angle to work in a Plus4 on this, and stay tuned. So that's what we're looking at, guys. Does not work with a magwell. Does not, will not, even if you think, oh, maybe it'll work with this new aged one that just came out. No, it won't. Boom, there's that. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and check out the install. All right, guys, we've got our standard 17, or our factory 17 round mag. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little punch tool of your choice, push this little detent, and while pushing, slide forward. I like to keep my thumb on the back here so that the spring doesn't go flying out. And I'm just gonna slide this off. So we're gonna go ahead and discard that, let that spring tension relax a little bit, and then we are ready for the next step, which is we're going to get our Plus2 base pad, which is like this. It's going to come with a bolt that is a 3/32. Boom, you can see that right there. Ooh, it's upside down. 3/32 bolt. So get your standard 3/32 Allen tool that you have, because you're a responsible human being, gun owner. You're going to take the little cleat off. That's what you saw me do while I was ranting. Take the cleat off and go ahead and line this cleatless spot, this void, up with the front of the magazine. Push the plate in and just slide that into the grooves. It's going to be a good tight fit. It's exactly how you want it. And you're just going to slide it till you hear it click. And that time it happened to just line in. If it doesn't, you can take your punch tool and wiggle until you get it lined up. And so now, if you don't put the cleat on, it's going to slide off. So go ahead and grab that cleat that you didn't lose when you took it off, and you're just going to tighten it up. boom, just like that, guys. You don't need to torque it down a ton. I always recommend a little bit of Loctite. What I like to do when I get a new product is put it in there dry, test everything out, make sure it's to my liking, make sure everything's working. You know, if you put a new base pad on, you want to make sure that it's seating, that it's not hanging up. If your mag is loaded, it's definitely gonna take a smack. These mags are notoriously tight, so let's not cry about that. But yeah, so once you see that it's working for you, you're liking it, drop some thread locker on that nut. Don't need a ton, a little teeny dab will work just to keep it from backing out. Although you can't back out too much if you use your gun because nowhere to back out. So there we are, guys. That's the Plus2. We're gonna go ahead and load it up just with our dummy rounds. One thing we did mention already, the 17 round mags are notoriously really hard to load. So much so that SIG includes a little loader tool with the macro. I think when you have a brand new mag, putting a Plus2 on it, it's maybe possibly a little bit stiffer, but there is play. It is going to function for you. One thing I can recommend is load up your mag, put your full 17 if you don't have a base plate on it, or put your full 19 in there and let it kind of break that spring in. Another thing that I will recommend, so if you have your full 19 in here and you want to carry one in your chamber, again, these are dummies, these are not live rounds. A lot of people like to put the mag in and then rack it. It's a little bit difficult to rack, so my recommendation is to do it like this. Just drop your round in there. Don't take the round out of here, of course. You still want your 19 in here. Drop a round in there, have your mag loaded to 19, give it a good smack, and you should be good. And then after that, the slide will cycle with the shot, so you shouldn't have any issues. Boom, guys. Let me know your preferred way to carry to load your Plus1. Do you always rack your slide and then put another one in, or do you drop one in the barrel like I showed? That's typically how I do it, especially because a lot of times I'm not unloading my magazine, it's my carry gun. But if I'm pulling out my carry gun to show, I clear that one. That one's lying around, I go pick it up for later when I go to reholster, drop it in, and then I reholster. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think, or what your preferred method of getting your Plus1 in the chamber. Yeah, if you have questions, guys, drop it in the comments. Again, we have a support chat on our website, www.tactical.dev. There is a support chat in the bottom right corner that's always there. Of course, we're not a giant company that's monitoring that 24/7, but it has features to where if you left a message and you don't want to just hang out on the website waiting for a response because maybe it's after hours, we'll email you once we respond. It'll come to your email. So use a real email. We're not going to sell your information. It's not our style. And yeah, that's what we're looking at. Let's go ahead and just show you for the sake of it. Now these are live rounds. I just took it out of my backpack, so I'm not going to rack the slide, but there's our Plus2 with a mag well, and boom. Got a little shim here, keeps it from walking itself off or coming off. This is just spray painted because these are, again, prototypes. Working on some slight little edge differences so that they don't make contact with mag wells. But yeah, while we're here, let's go ahead and talk about ProLedge versions. So we're looking at 2 versions in development simultaneously. This version is designed, and this is my drop test light. If you saw my Instagram stories, guys, we drop tested both of these actually. This one and this one. And I think we got quite a few drops before we had catastrophic failures. But this one, if you have the TLR7 sub 1913 version, because make sure you know what you're buying. Don't buy the SIG version when you have a macro. There's a 1913. Yes, it's a SIG, but it's got a 1913 rail. So buy the 1913 Lite, and you'll be able to change out that clamp. And what that does is this one will lower a light if you put a on here. The only reason we started developing this one is we had a lot of people that don't run a light. And so we've developed this. We kept the rail in there in case you do want to put something, or you have an ability to put a mantis or any other accessory for training or whatnot. But this one's designed to not run a light. This one's designed only to run a TLR7 sub. Boom. So those are coming soon. Very close. Working out some last things. And yeah, magwells, if they're not live right now, they're in the process. We actually have 200 of them. We're just trying to get packaged up and put back on the website. So that's where we're at, guys. That has been the Plus2 flush, is what we're calling the XMacro XMA Plus2 flush, the XMacro aluminum Plus2 flush. Yeah, freaking acronyms. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the interest. It means a lot. Feel free to just comment anything just to get more views. YouTube does not push us towards people. No monetization, which I don't really care about making money on the YouTube. But getting more eyes to see this, to let them know that, hey, there's a Plus2 magazine base pad for the macro. I need it. I want it. It helps us a lot, even if all you do is like the video. And if you have questions, that's just me lasering my logo on the mags that are mine. Blue. All right, guys. Boom.